Hey, so Spencer Hemingway here again with our closing of the on-course lessons series with Ethan here. So we just finished up our front nine, and Ethan, basically what we went over today was one, picking targets, knowing where to miss, and knowing where our trouble is going to be course management wise, and how we want to pick our way around the golf course and see what spots we want to hit to, what spots we want to stay away from, and where we can manage our scores as best as we can. And then we also went over recovery shots and how to get out of sticky situations when we do get into them, because that's golf and we're always going to get into them. And we basically talked about having a clock system with our punch out shots, so knowing how far we need to hit based on how much fairway we have and where we're trying to get to, and picking that apart, and also not getting ourselves into more trouble when we're doing that. So just taking our medicine, getting out of situations when we can. So if you want to just talk about a little bit about what you learned and what felt different.
Yeah, I think the biggest part for me was I tend to sometimes get myself into some troubled situations off the tee. So learning, where I need to be with my punch shots, and really thinking more about course management a little bit better was the biggest thing for me, so that I, lower scores and not be in so much trouble all the time. So that was super helpful and something that I can use going forward. So.
And I think one other thing that's important that we talked about is he wasn't always committed to a target before hitting each shot, and staying committed to a target, really setting up and having a proper setup and staying in a consistent setup each time, walking up, picking a target, and then firing at that target. And then also understanding like our dispersion rates and where we can miss, just based off like decade and our cones, and if we're going to miss 35 yards left, 35 yards right based off our target. For 300 yards, I think is something that is helpful too, just thinking about as a whole course management wise and what we need to do. And then also, again, just picking our spots. Like on the third hole, maybe not hitting driver next time and hitting with the 3-wood instead, just laying back a little bit so we don't bring the further trees into play. And then also just kind of knowing what shot shape we're trying to hit, how we're hitting it that day, and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
So, good lesson.